This is a presentation produced by the National Institute of Public Finance and Policy regarding the release of the Sahoo Committee report on depository receipts. The Sahoo Committee report makes recommendations regarding the regulation of depository receipts issued abroad against Indian securities. Depository receipts, also known as DRs, are financial instruments that can be used to access international capital markets. In short, local securities are deposited with a custodian in India. Once these securities have been deposited, a depository institution in a foreign jurisdiction may issue corresponding DRs on the back of these securities. In this way, issuers of Indian securities can access the international capital markets, and foreign investors can gain exposure to Indian securities without directly holding the Indian securities. Pending implementation of the Sahoo Committee recommendations, DRs are currently regulated by the FCCB and ordinary shares through Depository Receipt Mechanism Scheme of 1993. In addition, DRs are subject to the existing capital controls regime and regulations administered by the securities regulator SEBI, as well as companies law and the laws on taxation. In 2013, the government felt the need to review the 1993 scheme primarily because of vast changes to the legislative landscape affecting the financial sector. Along with these legislative developments, the macroeconomic and financial landscape had changed as well, and the policies underlying the 1993 scheme were no longer well suited to the needs of Indian corporates and foreign investors. Also, 2 decades of incremental modifications to the scheme had resulted in a lack of clarity. The committee formed in September 2013 to review the scheme was chaired by Mr. M.S. Sahoo. The committee drew its members from the public and private sectors and from academia and engaged in extensive stakeholder consultations. Research support was provided to the committee by the National Institute of Public Finance and Policy. The report contains an analysis of the legal and economic context of the review and an extensive discussion of a principles-based policy framework that draws on the work of other recent expert committee reports, in particular, the report of the Financial Sector Legislative Reforms Commission, the FSLRC. The Sahoo Committee report provides holistic recommendations in an accessible question and answer format, as well as an implementation mechanism in the form of specific legal and regulatory changes. The report recommends clarification of certain critical aspects of DRs, namely that non-capital raising DRs are permitted and that both listed and unlisted DRs are permitted under the law. The report also recommends some major changes, namely that unsponsored DRs should be allowed, that there will be no restrictions under Indian laws on who can serve as a foreign depository, and that DRs on the back of Indian securities can only be issued in FATF and IOSCO compliant jurisdictions. Further, the report recommends that a broader category of Indian securities be allowed to serve as the underlying for DRs. Also, the report recommends changes to the way that minimum public shareholding is calculated in the context of DR issuances. The entire Sahoo Committee report is available at the link provided here. To learn more about developments in Indian financial regulation, you can visit our website at macrofinance.nipfp.org.in.